Out here today. Thank you so much. Welcome to the March Against Monsanto. Whether or not you're well versed on the atrocities that Monsanto commits, or you're just now learning about GMOs and you want more information, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the fight. Today marks the third Global Day of Action Against Monsanto. 1 year ago, we stood right here. We took the streets. We the people made our voices heard. Over 2 million marched from 52 countries around the world. What was the outcome? Well, in the weeks following the march, Monsanto's stock dropped more than 10% of its total value, resulting in millions lost, effectively diminishing their profit margins to the point to where they had to issue a stock buyback program just to keep their investors and to stop the free fall in the Wall Street market. That's success. We did that. We made that happen. And just by spreading awareness, attacking their bottom line is the one thing that will bring them to their knees. Take away the money and the power from them, we empower ourselves. And another victory for the people, the Monsanto Protection Act was killed in the Senate. Having nonstop pressure from us, the American voters, the Senate pretty much had no choice. Remember, they work for us. It's not the other way around. This year also, Operation Monsanto Stock Plunge was launched, both last month and this month. What that was, millions of people were urged to contact their financial advisors to find out if they had any Monsanto stock that was hiding in their mutual funds, their 401k, and their pensions. And many people were shocked to find out that is the case. So, thousands took action, took immediate action, told their financial advisors to sell any Monsanto stock they had, reinvest in more socially responsible funds. That hit Monsanto hard. It really did. China recently rejected 900,000 tons of GMO corn over the concerns of health and environmental risks. Now, granted, China, it's not the most eco-friendly country in the world. There's a lot of pollution concerns and whatnot over there. But they do better than to import this contaminated GMO garbage. You know? Russia recently announced a complete ban on import and commercialization of GMOs. Yeah. They took it a step further, criminalizing cultivation of genetically modified food, calling it a potential terrorist activity. That's how serious these contamination issues are. Now, there are now 74 countries that require some sort of GMO labeling, one way or another. 74 countries feel like their people should have the right to know what they're putting into their bodies. And that's the way it should be. Yeah. So here on the home front, Vermont just became the first state to require mandatory GMO labeling. That's all. The very same day, Monsanto announced a lawsuit against Vermont. They want to sue the state. You know, they claim to be feeding the world, doing their part to end world hunger. You know, you gotta think, if they're so proud of these genetic mutations that they pass on to food, you think they'd be proud to slap a label on it. They're proud to be genetically modified. But you know, that's not gonna happen, okay? Enough people have been awakened to the dangers of genetically modified food that they know in their right mind is buying. No who's buying it from them. If you go to the store and if you're picking up your dinner, that has a label that reads may contain genetically modified ingredients, it may as well say may cause cancer, autism, ADHD, Parkinson's, leukemia, infertility, organ failure, premature puberty in children, endometriosis, birth defects, so on and so on. That's the fact of the matter. Because all these terrible afflictions have direct links to GMOs. Whether or not they tell you that that's nonsense, they suppress the research that is put out there that proves it to be true. They immediately sue people when they say GMOs are bad. They're like, well, lawsuit. So it scares people into keeping their mouths shut. That's not what we're about. No, sir. Not at all. They're always going to fight this. They're always going to sue people. The fact is, it is our right to know. It is our right to know what we are eating. We're just going to roll over and accept things for the way they are. They are dead wrong. Not going to happen. We do not need GMOs at all. So you may ask yourself why. Why do they do this? Why do they systematically poison us and then suppress the research that proves that it's poison? That's part of it. You know, there's an awful lot of the world elites who have often stated they believe the earth is overpopulated. You know this. Okay? And this may be tough to accept or even to grasp, but a lot of those guys who are saying the world's overpopulated are big-time shareholders in Monsanto. And what can I tell you? Connect the dots there. They know this is poison. They want the earth to be less populated. Two and two together. We can't really stand this anymore. It's very disturbing. The whole problem is very deep. Because no one really wants to believe that, you know, this is intentionally being done to us, but how could it not be? These people know exactly what they're doing. They're scientists. They know what they're doing. You know, along with GMOs, we're experiencing pesticide contamination on an unprecedented level. Pesticides manufactured and produced by Monsanto, Dow Chemical, DuPont, Syngenta, and so on. They all seem to be doing their part to devastate and destroy the environment, basically. Now, these pesticides themselves have been attributed as the #1 cause of colony collapse disorders in the world's honeybee population. Okay? And some might say, oh, well, if it kills a few bees, you know, what's the big deal? Try hundreds of millions of bees. And more every single day. Many people don't seem to grasp the concept that if the bees die, we die. That's the truth. They are our pollinators. Okay, the work that honeybees do is absolutely astounding. It's a miracle of nature. Okay, and Monsanto, honestly, could not care less if they were wiped off the face of the earth, knowing the consequences of that. Matter of fact, the leading honeybee research firm, Beelogics, were releasing studies that prove the connection between these pesticides and the mass die-off of bees. So what did Monsanto do? They bought Beelogics. Okay. They bought Beelogics last year. And I think it's safe to say pretty much that you're not going to hear about the pesticide-bee connection coming from Beelogics anymore. It's just not going to happen. On the contrary, Monsanto now owns the research. Okay, they'll likely put out studies in their favor claiming that there is no connection. And people will have to accept it because that's the leading honeybee research firm in the country. So who's coming to save us? Barack Obama coming to save us? That's a joke. I'm sorry, that's a joke. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. Doesn't matter. Both sides are attacking us with this. Both sides support and take money from Monsanto. Okay? Barack Obama promised to label GMOs 7 years ago. He was running for president. He said, we're going to let folks know when their food is genetically modified. Americans have the right to know what they're buying. He said that on the campaign trail. He became president, never mentioned it again. An outright lie. Some figures just about every issue he ran on ends up being lies, so no help from the White House. How about the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA? Think they might be able to help us out? Why don't we ask the Deputy Commissioner of the EPA, Linda Fisher, for some help? Surely there is something she can do. Well, actually, no. It turns out that Linda Fisher served as the VP of Government and Public Affairs for Monsanto. So we're probably not going to get any help from her. Okay? So how about the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture? Yeah, let's go to Lydia Watson at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, see what she can do for us. No, see, we can't do that either because she was the manager of new technologies at Monsanto. Okay, Okay? Well, forget that. Let's just go over her head completely. Okay, let's go to the director of the USDA, Roger Blakely. Now, he should definitely be willing to stand with us. I mean, he's the director of the USDA. You know? But there's no less than because he was also director of Monsanto. So that's not going to work. And of course, you know, we're not going to get any help from the Supreme Court. Clarence Thomas. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, the former attorney for Monsanto, and happens to preside over every single lawsuit involving Monsanto that comes before the Supreme Court. And he's ruled in Monsanto's favor every single time.
We wonder why.
So we can't go to the Supreme Court. Well, we can't go to the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, Ian Fenneman, either, because she sits on the board of directors at Monsanto. All right, can't really expect much from the FDA either. We all know about Michael Taylor, Deputy Commissioner of Food at the FDA, former Vice President of Public Policy at Monsanto. And he was appointed personally by Obama to the FDA. I was wondering if there's anybody else at the Food and Drug Administration, they're supposed to ensure that these things are ultimately safe for us. I wonder if there's anybody else there at the FDA might be able to help us out. We could go to Deputy Director Margaret Miller. But wouldn't you know it, she was a chemical lab supervisor for Monsanto. I mean, isn't that just a fantastic number of coincidences? Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
You know, what's unbelievable is that they expect us all to believe that it's just coincidence. Okay, we're not talking about conspiracy theories here, because there's nothing theoretical about the conspiracy that's happening right in front of us. It is no theory, it's what's actually happening. We have to resist this. We have to keep informing everyone we know, keep taking the streets, raising some hell, and making some noise. We can all do our part worldwide. Okay? All we have to really do is buy or grow organic food. Okay? Use safer alternatives to these pesticides. You know, that's it. Organics and safe alternatives to pesticides. You won't have the need for GMOs. If they can't sell them, then what harm are they going to do? Okay, if we don't buy them. You know, we do these things and we're not only supporting local organic farmers. We take the power and the money away from Monsanto, and that's the number one objective.
Yeah.
But you know, in the meantime, it is our duty and moral obligation to educate and enlighten the masses around the world. We have to tell them, we have to let everybody know about the despicable crimes against humanity and the environment that Monsanto is perpetrating upon people. You know, these things have been allowed to go on for far too long, way too long. I can't believe it's been 20 years since they introduced GMOs into the food supply. 20 years. Imagine what the cancer rates were 20 years ago, and what they're up to now. Everyone gets cancer. Almost everyone gets cancer. Okay, these are directly linked. This is the truth. These are the facts. You know, it's been said that Monsanto's worst enemy is an informed public. And that's so true. Don't ever let anyone tell you that standing your ground and protesting injustice doesn't get results. Because it does. If we stand here right now, we're making a difference for our future generations.
Yeah.
For these little kids right here. We're making a difference for them. We're spreading awareness. We won't be silenced. We will not be silenced.
Yeah.
We're all together, united. We stand and we say, hell no, GMO!